Hi, welcome to another HR Speak in HR Speak Season 4. Who do we have with us? We have the Group HR Head for Peerless Group, Mr. Santanu Maity. Welcome, sir.
Welcome.
Sir, we were having a chat over coffee just before we started this interview, and such wonderful stories. Yeah. So I hope we can capture all of that. Let's start with your story, your personal story, which you would want to share with our viewers.
Yeah, my personal story, if I start with, I brought up at Jhargram, which is 156 kilometers from here, which is a small town. Now it is a district town. So I did my schooling from there, as well as the graduation from there, and thereafter I did my postgraduate certificate course from State Level Institute, and thereafter I did my PGDM from IIM Kolkata. I passed out in 1990. I am a 25th batch. So this is all about me, about my family, my wife, she is a housewife. My daughter, she is about to start her postgraduate classes, and my mother, my father died almost 7 years back. He was a businessman. We are two brothers. My elder brother is basically I am hailing from a business family. So I am the first man who has taken a job. So my father says, okay, you can start your job, no problem with that, but at the end of the month, don't ask for money from me. So that is the kind of job you should do. Otherwise, you should forget about job. Just come and join in the family business. So that is, I think, the Bible word that I have got from my father. So I have started my career in that way, so that I need not to ask for money from my father. So we have a construction business. My elder brother is still doing that. I am the youngest. My elder sister, she is married, happily married, and stayed at Chandanagar. So that is all about my family. We have my own house, and I have also taken a small, you can say it's a cottage, or I can say family. It's a flat at Calcutta.
Wonderful. And what are your hobbies? What are your pastime?
Pastime, I love traveling, and obviously spend time with my family. And at the leisure time, obviously I go through the various magazines, try to understand what is happening in the HR world and the non-HR world. There are a lot of political, I think, changes going on, and especially in the COVID areas, a lot of changes are happening. So we are moving from physical end to the work from home end. So these are the things, and I love to see the English movies also a little bit. And so sorry, I've forgotten in my current designations. I am also the vice president of Peerless Sports Club, which is just last year we got the league champion, Calcutta CFL champion. So this year also we are moving ahead. Let's see what happens. So I'm the vice president of that club, and so I'm very fond of this kind of sports, and this is all about me. As far as my professional career, we will open it gradually.
Sure. So, sir, take us back in time when you started working, and what was that organization which is close to your heart?
Yeah, during my IIM days, I did my summer in Tata Steel, and the project title was quite interesting. That is the human side in Tata Steel. That was, I do not understand. I didn't understand why Dr. Pandey has given me this project, because I literally came to know when I joined Tata Steel after 1 year or 2 years back. After that, it was a research project. So my responsibility was to draw up the questionnaire and to take interview of the various workforce. I think workers, supervisors, including the engineers also. And I could have taken the interview something around near about 2,000 people, and it take 2 years time to complete the entire project. That's why I started the project during my summer project, but I completed it when I joined.
Okay.
So, and then the good thing of this project was that I came to know many things about the human aspect of Tata Steel, and Dr. Pandey got the DLIT degree from this project. So that was my first, and why should I join Tata? That was a unique story. I got 3 opportunities in the placement, because at that point of time there was no restrictions. Like today we have, if you commit one, you will never be allowed to sit for the second one. But at that point of time in the 90s there was not such restrictions, so I got 3 opportunities. So I discussed with my father, what kind of opportunity I should accept. He told me that if you want to be a good HR person, go and join a manufacturing organization. And Tata is the most ideal organization because there are a lot of stalwarts there, and the company is known for its own values, ethics. So if you want to be a very good human being first, and then try to be a very good manager, and then grow it as a good leader or respected leaders. So I think this is the ideal company to start with your career.
So you said values and ethics.
Yeah.
So what about values and ethics? I'm sure there is something very special that you hold.
Many companies have many values, I think. Every company has its own values. But Tata, we also have values. But in addition to that, the biggest value which Tata wants to bring from each and every corner, that is for each and every aspect of from your life, that is, I believe in my 4 values. Like, work with integrity.
That's right.
Then focus on transparency, committed to people development, and remain focused on quality. So these are the 4 values I think every employee at that point of time who are working in Tata still believe in. And that's why Tata never faced any kind of strike or lockout, any kind of quality problem, any kind of productivity problem, something like that.
Wonderful. And I mean, I'm amazed you remember the 4 values, and I was thinking that, okay, you said 4 values. What about values, sir? More about it. Values and ethics, and we are getting into the pillars of the HR fraternity.
So if you look at the organization, any organization, we believe in, when you go to the doctor, there are 2 things. One is disease, and there are certain symptoms.
That's right.
So this, on the basis of the symptoms, the doctor diagnose it and treat you. So everything of organization, there must be certain symptoms.
That's right.
If you can identify these symptoms, it will be easier for you to diagnose and give proper treatment. Like we believe in NUDD in any organization. That is, if you see the organization, that non-concern for human expectations, uncared human values, disrespect human ideas, and disregard human feelings. If you have any kind of indications, you can see the organization is suffering. So please take care of all these 4 things. I think the organization will be fine. And if your organization will be fine, as per the Johari window, you are also fine.
Thank you so much for such thoughtful words that has come from you. A little interested more, did you get an opportunity to meet the founder?
Yeah, definitely. I met with J.R.D. Tata when my, I think the familiarization program, it was I think the 2-month program, familiarization program, to be accustomed to the Tata culture and values, to go through each and every operations of Tata Steel. And at the end of the day, it was, I didn't know that before. It was a customary that GRD wants to meet with each and every executives. So at the end of the day, he came in and he just told us that I am fortunate enough to be standing in front of you, but it is unfortunate that I could not sit beside you because I don't have that kind of degree or diplomas like you have. So that is the bigger, the first stanza he has told us. And he has shared one story with him, that I usually come to the office at around 11, stay around 2:30. I did nothing. We are quite surprised why he is telling that. But then he told us that one fine morning, a young lady came to me and she asked me, just, sir, you are coming at around 11:30, spend a lot of time reading the newspapers, 2-3 newspapers, having a cup of coffee, looking something in front of your laptop, and then you start gossiping with some senior executives, maybe half an hour, and then you go out of the office. Every day you are coming. Sir, for taking a coffee, you can take it in your house. For reading newspaper, you can have the newspaper in your house. For interacting with the senior executives, we have a telephone, you can interact with that, or either you can call in your house, at your house. Then he told me, okay, now I'm sharing the story. Then he told that I just shared these things. It's very fine that you are sharing all these things, because you are also an employee of this organization. You have every right to ask me, because I am also taking salary from this company. Look at the feelings and thoughts of because I think any other company on the very day that lady might have been fired, but it is Tata, and that's why it is different from other companies. He told that what I am doing, you just have a right to know that. Yes, I'm coming, I'm reading newspapers, trying to find out what is going on in the market. Then I sit with my senior executives just to ask. I have money, I have the people, I have the infrastructure. Now tell me where I could invest. But I'm not interested to invest in any share market or something like that. Don't give me that kind of advice. Then one fine morning, maybe after having a rigorous exercise, that one company who took birth, and that is Tata Tea. So that was the story of birth of Tata Tea.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful.
So this is one of the things. And from my own, if you ask me, what I have seen, what I have seen from JRD is that one fine morning we have a meeting with the senior executives in Bombay House. So the meeting was about to discuss about the bearings division, the mines division, as well as the Tata Metalics. Then during the meeting, he just stood up and said, just give me 5 minutes. Excuse me, 5 minutes. I think he is going to a toilet. So I just want to utilize the toilet for the same thing. So I think let's utilize the toilet also, because when you will come in, I may not be allowed to go out. Then I rush towards the toilet, but I have seen that he is not going to the toilet, he is going to a lift, towards the lift. I say, why he is going to the lift? And it's a story, it's a mysterious to me. Then I collected the information at the evening that he went to his driver to say, you can have your lunch, I might be late.
Oh, wow.
So this is what I can see. This is the values, this is the ethics of Tata Steel. It might be a story for this today's guy, but again, these are the pillars on the basis of which the Tata Steel still.
Amazing. I mean, these are things probably some generations would connect and some would not.
Yeah.
And considering the risk this lady took, and we got the Tata Tea story.
Yeah.
Do you have such a risk-taking story for yourself?
Risk-taking story, obviously I have, because when I migrated Tata and joined Balrampur Sugar, so it was I think maybe after two to 3 days, when I got a call from one of my friends who are in Bombay. So why? So you have done a blunder here. I mean, why you have joined in a non-branding commodity? From Tata to Balrampur, how are you mad? As a group HR or something like that. Then, and it was really, because sugar is a non-branding commodity. Number one. Number two, I've seen the entire HR systems or processes has been outsourced, and the people do not know what is training all about. So previously and thereafter, when I started interacting with his mother, who is the deputy managing director of that company, and he was a Padma Shri awardee. So when I request her to release some guys for the training program, she countered me, if I educate my people, they might leave us. Then I countered her. So okay, if you have a mindset in that, don't try to take anybody which has been developed by others. Okay, so that was a story, and eventually the training program has been started, and the HR start working on that, maybe, and that's why I couldn't stay much over there. So then I joined Reliance. Reliance is a different story altogether, and then to, I think, Siemens. It's a German conglomerate, and thereafter again to Tata.
Oh.
And at that point on, I was based out at the Bombay house, that is in Bombay. And that was an unique story of that, because there are a lot of strategies, the policies, has been conceptualized, designed, and implemented over there. So I was reporting to Dr. Rajan at the point of time. And then finally, when I got accident over there, because I was forced bachelor over there, keeping my family here, because I do not have right to play with the careers of my daughter. So I am a forced bachelor over there, and then I met with an accident. And then my family says, enough is enough. You have spent something around 14 plus 2, 16 years with Tata. If your education is over, your learning is over from Tata, so you can come down to Calcutta. And that's why I joined Peerless thereafter, and I'm still continuing with this organization. And it's also a fantastic organization. Like, I cannot compare it with Tata, because there are certain values and ethics of Peerless I found it is similar to Tata.
Wonderful, wonderful. And I'm sure you're bringing in a lot from the experience. The way you articulated the 4 values, it spoke immensely about what values you hold close to your heart. You did mention that when you were inducting people, and you had your leader of a particular organization telling you that, I don't want to train my people, because I might lose them.
Yeah.
So what do you want to say to those people who are the next gen now, looking for a job, wanting to take risk, have a different mindset?
No, actually what happened, that I can tell the people that basically those who are coming out from the colleges, they are basically the theoreticians. So the theoretical input and I think the corporate world, the expectations of the corporate world is quite different. Because in the institute you have the leverage to get some time to establish or settle down. But in the corporate world, nobody will allow you to settle down. You have to be focused and have to deliver from day one. That is the expectations of the management from the today's world. And that is, I think, that is a very wrong idea. Because you need to identify the best talents. That is what I can say, the 5 E's of HR. That is 5 E's matlab, entry, the best person, take the entry of the best person, enable them, then exploit them. Exploit means without providing any training and development exercise, they work like a perpetual machine. And then when they cease to become very useful, encourage them. This is not HR. This is what we are really need to focus on this if you want to establish HR. And I think you need to identify or try to identify expectations of the people. Because if you look at in Tata, in every interview, we see what is you usually know what is the expectations of an employer for an employee. If he has the domain knowledge, whether he has the systems and processes, he knows, whether he is a cultural fit or not, and salary and all these things. These are things. But have you ever tried to identify what is his expectations from the organization?
That's a great question.
Because otherwise, the win-win situation will never happen. Because I have been to many institutes, while in Tata, while in other organizations, but I still believe one story, that is, I have asked one gentleman who is a very good young engineer of IIT Kharagpur. I asked him that, suppose if you join in Tata, at the end of the day, it is a private conglomerate, no doubt about that. So what kind of designations you are looking for? He countered, what competencies will I gain if I join your company? That means the younger employees are no longer content to blindly follow the conventional path. They want a clarity and commitment about the pace and level of their career growth from their expected employers. If it is there, then they will be there. If it is not, they will say sorry.
They have become choosers actually.
Yeah. So you should be ready about that, because your industrial growth and their career aspiration growth, if it will not match, divorce is inevitable. So in the today's world, you cannot match with the aspirations of the people. So that is the brain drain is happening. Many people, if you look at the Deloitte study, the attrition rate is quite higher in the Indian companies compared to their European counterpart. Why this is happening? Because you cannot match your expectations as well as your expectations and the expectations of the people.
So to these people, what is it that you would like to say as a guiding factor now that we are not going back in time and this is where we are with a change which has happened?
Yeah, I would say, suppose if you get a call from any of the company, first try to ask yourself, why did you apply? Number one. Number two, what are the history of this organization? Maybe it just goes through the balance sheet of the organizations, the auditor's report, the management reports, what they did and what is the future goal of the organizations. How can your aspiration can match with the goal of the organization? If it is there, then definitely you should go for that. And before going the interview, try to get some information about the organization and the people policy, vis-a-vis, and try to believe in the 4 pillars. That is, the 4 pillars, if you want to successful, as far as the HR is concerned, I believe that the 4 pillars is that when you start working in your organization, get aligned with the people, first of all. When you get aligned, the second pillar will automatically come, that is trust.
Important factor.
Trust. When the trust will happen, the third pillar will automatically come, that is called building relationship. When these 3 pillars are happening, the 4th pillar, the most important pillar will automatically come, that is called team building or teamwork.
Perfect.
If it happens, the magic will happen.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for such wonderful episodes and stories. I wish we had more time for more stories from you.
Yeah.
I would now move on to our next segment and we call it the rapid fire.
Yeah.
So, very quickly, sir, mountain or sea?
Both. Because
This is rapid fire,
yes,
sir.
both, because the nature has given to take the pleasure of this both. You make a 60-40, but I cannot avoid. 60 is a mountain, because it is much more peaceful than the sea.
Okay. Saurav Ganguly or Tendulkar?
As far as the technicality is concerned, Tendulkar. As far as the leadership is concerned, Ganguly.
Wonderful. Football or cricket?
Though I am the vice president of Peerless Football Club, but I am still tilted towards cricket.
Okay, I thought you would answer football. Pre-pandemic or post-pandemic?
I think post-pandemic, because it has given us a lot of lessons, which you are knowingly or unknowingly ignoring it. But let's look at the different world altogether.
Skill or will?
It's always will, because it is intrinsic.
Okay. And L&D or HR?
Without HR, L&D will never happen. So I focus on the HR, because you need to understand the people, and then only the L&D will come.
People or values?
I think both. Because again, I am going to tell you one story, because I was delivering a lecture in the Ahmedabad, one of the nationalized bank staff college. One trainee probationary officer just stood and asked me, Jay, why only labor welfare? Why welfare is required? Because if the people are well fed, well looked after, well salaried, then what is the role of welfare? And I asked, then I answered to this question. Suppose if you have 20,000 machineries, what is the first thing should come to your mind? You must have a maintenance department to keep them repair, to keep them productive.
That's right.
So suppose if you have 10,000 manpower, having different hearts, different soul, different creed, different culture, all are different. What is the first thing you need to have in your mind? Again, maintenance department. That maintenance department is human maintenance department. Without that, I don't think you will get the right productivity. Because people plus process equal to productivity. If you focus only on the process part, you may not get the desired productivity. You should think about the people development, where the L&D came.
Wonderful connect. So we connected a lot of dots through our discussion: HR, values, people, next gen, mindset. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
For so much of great details that you gave us in terms of your experience. And I hope it helps all of us. See you in the next series, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Tune in and listen to what Mr. Maity has to say, his stories, his experience. Take away.